I'm Alan. I own a 45-foot narrowboat, have an interest in industrial heritage, transport and technology, and invite you to join me as I cruise, repair and maintain my boat, and visit events and places of historic interest. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me. I'm here at Bingley 5 Rise on the Leeds and Liverpool Canal for a very, very special event. Today is the 21st of March 2024, and it's the 250th anniversary since the locks opened. The day they opened, there was a crowd here of 30,000 people. It's unimaginable, isn't it? But today is the 250th anniversary. I'll be going down the locks on a boat. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm glad you can join me for this very, very special experience. I'll be telling you more about the locks as we go down, telling a little bit about their history. The drop is actually 59 feet 2 inches, which is about 60 feet drop. That's less than 20 meters. Rain isn't expected today, but it is just trying to rain at the moment, which is rather annoying. I must first of all thank the Canal and River Trust for inviting me to take part in this 250th anniversary celebration, and for the wonderful opportunity to pass down through the locks on a wide beam canal boat. The Trust has a difficult job maintaining 2,000 miles of canals, locks and infrastructure, so any financial or volunteering support is always welcome. Bingley 5 Rise locks are situated in the Aire Valley, West Yorkshire, on the Leeds and Liverpool Canal, which links both cities over a distance of 127 miles. It was the first of the Transpennine canals to be started and the last to be completed. The locks were a major feat of engineering at the time they were designed by John Longbottom in about 1773. This is the boat we are using to go down the locks, seen here after our descent. I'm on the boat now. We're just getting ready to set off. We'll soon be descending Bingley 5 Rise, and what a treat that's going to be. Well, we're off. Wonderful. We're just entering top lock now. Opened on 21st of March 1774, the first boat down the locks took just 28 minutes. I understand coming up the locks takes about 45 minutes. We're going through now into the second lock. There's certainly a lot of interest from bystanders, Canal and River Trust employees and volunteers. This is Nigel, who will talk to us later on. The locks have been Grade 1 listed since August 1966 under the list entry of Leeds and Liverpool Canal 5-rise locks with overflow channel. They are the steepest flight of locks in the UK, with a gradient of about 1 in 5, having a rise or fall of 59 feet 2 inches over a distance of 320 feet. The locks are connected as a staircase flight without any intermediate pounds or side ponds. The lock chambers are 14 feet wide. The lower gate of each chamber forms the upper gate of the chamber below. Each gate consists of 2 half gates, hinged from opposite sides of the canal. The 2 halves close in a V shape, pointing upstream, and water pressure on the uphill side keeps them firmly closed. Once the water level is equal, the gates can be opened and a boat moved to the next chamber. We're getting on very well now. I think we're in the 4th lockdown, is that right? Yep. You do lose track of where you are when you're in locks, but it's really good. Let's see if we can get some film at the back here. Closing the gates behind us. These are scissor paddles. You'll hear more of these later. Extensive restorations were carried out in 2004 and 2006, and again in 2012 when new lock gates were fitted. The new gates are made of English green oak and, together with the balance beam, weigh more than 5 tons. The intermediate and bottom gates are some of the tallest in England. A full-time lockkeeper assists boaters through the flight, and out of hours they are padlocked. The top lock is also kept locked whilst the lockkeeper is elsewhere on the flight. I'm now in bottom lock. Just one more set of gates to open, and then we'll be exiting Bingley 5-rise. What a great trip it's been. You can see all the froth that has been left on the gates. What a treat this has been. I never imagined years ago that I'd be coming down Bingley 5-rise. They are the steepest lock flight in the country and descend about 60 feet, just a little bit under 60 feet. See here the paddle arrangement. This is the final set of lock gates that has opened. On the left here is the bywash. There is a channel that runs down the left hand side of the locks as we come down. This is the overflow here, as it were. This diverts water into the canal from above. Very shortly we're going to turn the boat around. It will be going back up the locks. Unfortunately, I won't be on it. We're just making our move now. Hi Bill, thanks for talking to me today. Would you like to say a little bit about yourself and explain some history of the locks?
Well, my name's William Froggatt and I work for the Canal River Trust as a heritage advisor here on the Leeds and Liverpool Canal. And today we're celebrating the 250th birthday of the iconic Bingley 5-rise locks, one of the 7 wonders of the waterways, identified by Robert Eggman back in the 1940s. It was the 1760s when they decided to build a canal linking West Yorkshire to Liverpool, and it was really the idea of the merchants of Bradford who wanted to connect themselves to the Liverpool dock. And they started building the canal in 1770 at Skipton on the 2nd of December and started heading towards Leeds. And in 1773 they opened the first section linking Skipton to Bingley, and then the following year, 1774, they opened the section from Bingley, including the 5-rise, down towards Shipley, including the 3-rise. And at the time of the opening, the local newspaper described the technology on this length of canal as being some of the noblest in the universe. They eventually finished building the canal 46 years after they built it, after they started in 1816. Primarily, I think the aim was to move coal and limestone. If you look at the route of the canal, you'll see that there's coal at either end, and the canal goes through an area called Craven in the Dales, which is renowned for its limestone. The most common article carried on the canal was coal. When the canal arrived in your town, it was a moment of great celebration because a canal boat could carry 30 or 40 tons of coal, and it immediately meant that the price of coal in your town was halved. So that enabled, if you like, the Industrial Revolution to happen. The canals and this canal were the foundations of the Industrial Revolution, but also for normal people who were cooking and heating their homes with coal, having much cheaper coal was certainly a bonus for them as well.
Behind me is the boat that I came down on. As you saw, it has turned and it will be going up again very shortly with a new set of guests, and I'm sure they'll enjoy it as much as I did. Would you like to say anything about the scissor paddles on the lock? Because I understand they're quite unusual.
Yeah, this is what we call a staircase lock. It is the steepest flight of locks in the country, and a staircase lock is where the lower gate of one lock forms the upper gate of the lock beneath it. And like I say, it was built in 1774. Really, by 1774, staircase locks were already out-of-date technology, and the reason for that is that a staircase lock is very inefficient in the amount of water it uses. You have to empty 5 locks to get one boat up or down it, and boats obviously can't pass en route, so in terms of water usage it's quite inefficient. The main type of lock gate on the Leeds and Liverpool Canal is what we call a piggyback balance beam, which you might be able to see on the lock gates behind me. And the reason for that is because originally they had on these gates scissor gate paddles. The traditional or the most common type of gate paddle on a lock gate runs up and down on a ratchet, but these scissor paddles that were common on this canal were known as scissor paddles, and they pivoted halfway down and rotated left or right to open the gate paddle, let the water through. And there are still scissor paddles on the bottom two locks at Bingley, but they're pretty rare elsewhere now.
That's great. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you. The second boat is coming up behind. You can just see its blue roof. All 5 locks must be set before beginning passage. For a journey upwards, the bottom lock must be empty, with all the others full. The reverse is the case for a boat descending. When ascending, the gates close behind the boat, and using a mix of ground, scissor and gate paddles along the flight, water from the above chamber fills the chamber that the ascending boat occupies and brings it up to the same level as the next lock. This process then repeats all the way to the top. When a descending boat enters a lock chamber, the water level rises slightly and the excess overflows via a side channel into the overflow channel or bywash, which runs down the full length of the flight. The second boat will shortly come out of the top lock. It did stop raining a bit earlier, but it started again now. But it's been a great morning. To be able to go down through these locks is a real achievement for me. Something, as I said earlier, I never expected to happen. I'm really grateful to the Canal and River Trust for allowing me that opportunity. The boat has now exited the lock. The swing bridge has opened. What an adventure everyone has had today. Many thanks again to the Canal and River Trust for arranging this for us. Been quite a number of vloggers of one sort or another here today. We've enjoyed the companionship and friendship of fellow boaters, CRT volunteers and staff. It's been really wonderful. Nigel, it's very good of you to talk to me today. Can you tell me a little bit about the role of a volunteer lockkeeper along here or any other canal you've worked on?
Yeah. Well, I signed up as a volunteer 2 summers ago. And first of all, you have to just apply through the CRT website, and then go and do an induction day, and then do some online training. And then essentially as a lock keeper, I'm trained on the job by a qualified passed out lock keeper until such times as they feel that I'm ready to be passed out myself so that I can become a fully qualified lock keeper. Currently first year I did one day a year, and now I do 2 days a year because I enjoyed it so much. So I do 1 day at Dowley Gap and then 1 day here at 5 and 3 Rise in Bingley.
That's very interesting. I'm a volunteer at Watford Locks.
Oh, Watford, yeah.
On the southern side
Grand
of the Leicester
Union.
Summit, yes.
I have never even been on a boat through a lock.
Haven't you?
No, I send boats through, but I've never actually been on one.
That's interesting,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's amazing how many volunteer lockies, haven't been on the boat. They don't own a boat.
No.
It's good that they're interested
No.
and take the time and trouble to help everyone out.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
once I'd retired, I spent a couple of years doing very little, and then thought I need to get out and do stuff. And the CRT now being a full-on charity that relies on people such as myself and many other people who are doing good jobs, not just lock keepers, but people who are doing all the groundwork and environmental work. So there are lots of opportunities for people to volunteer to help out on the canals all across the country. And I would encourage lots of people to come out and spend an afternoon or a day helping out, doing things to make the place nicer for the local community and for people who are coming on holidays. And
It's certainly very satisfying, isn't it?
wonderful, yeah.
Thank you so much for telling
my
us
pleasure.
about your role.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Many thanks for watching. To finish, we're going to ascend the locks at speed. Until next time, take care everyone. Bye for now.